Hey there fellows, this story takes place not a very long time ago. I wouldn't say it's recent, but this happened about a year and a half ago. I believe it is a crazy one, an experience from which I should learn to be more responsible at least. Let's jump straight to it. It was a sunny afternoon on a Saturday when my friends and I decided to take my dad's car for a spin for the first time, as I haven't had mine yet. I had just received my driving license, just passed the driving exam somehow, and I was eager to show off my driving skills. My friends were equally excited, as I was the first of all the homies and got my driving license. Finally we could legally be on board and share some quality time on the road all together. It was the first time when we all were in the same car, only us, no parents or anything. So I collect all of my homies. For the first time riding all together, we wanted to make this like an old-fashioned ride with no technologies, phones or anything, just the homies, a good CD for the music and a pack of cigarettes. I remember feeling a rush of adrenaline as we drove through winding roads, the wind blowing through our hair, and music blasting from the speakers. My dad had a pretty good audio system built in his car, so it was top-notch stuff with the speakers banging bangers, if that makes sense. It was a feeling of freedom that I had never experienced before. However, as the sun began to set, we realized that we had gone too far from home and none of us actually knew where we were at that point. We tried to navigate our way back without any clues if we getting any closer to where we came from. But luckily, we stumbled upon a gas station which was still working, even though it was getting late. We met a kind stranger who was just filling up his truck with gas. He helped us with directions and pointed into a direction which should have led to our city. So we all hopped back in my dad's car and went where the random guy pointed to. As we were driving for like 20 minutes, we realized from the road signs that we were getting no closer, only driving away from the city still. So I stopped, turned the car back around and started driving to where we came from previously. Now, the road in which we were driving was narrow and had a lot of curves, so I had to be concentrated all the time while driving. Despite that, we were surrounded by the trees and suddenly it started pouring rain. It was a full-on unsuccess festival at this point. Forgot to mention that it was pitch black and that the forest we were in naturally had a lot of animals, you know, the local community of the nature. So as we try to ignore the fact that we got lost, it's pitch black and a bear could hop into the road at any time. I see a figure on the middle of the road. It looked like human, but the thing is, when I noticed it, it was too late to stop safely, as at the moment my friend was asking about how we would find the city in this place. So I had a choice to do two things: 1, run over whoever that was, and 2, steer the wheel from the road and potentially fuck up my dad's car. Now, your boy was not ready to go to jail, so I steer as quickly as I can to the right, while tires squeaking from braking, and I slam into this giant tree. To our luck, I slowed down enough to not kill anybody. So I just check on my homies, ask if everyone's alright, and hopped out to check who was the person on the road. And to my surprise, when I approached the road, there was nothing there. What the fuck, I thought to myself, I'm not crazy, it can't be that only I saw the figure. Headed back to the car, my homies were there. As we had no phones, we couldn't even call anybody, and basically we were in the middle of nowhere at the moment. I also asked one of my homies if he also saw the figure on the road. Only one of them did, so I guess I'm not crazy yet. Anyways, we decided to stand on the side of the road we crashed on and wait for cars passing by. We were standing there for at least an hour. Luckily it was pretty warm, even if it was pouring rain and we were wet like dogs. Finally we see headlights in the distance coming straight to us. We had flashlights, so we started signaling to the driver for help. The car stops and a woman comes out of the car and she sees the crashed car, us wet like dogs, and just goes, "What the fuck happened to you guys?" Later on we explained with all the details. She gave me her phone to call my dad, later on a tow truck, because the tire had exploded and the headlights of the car were destroyed. Yeah, so the same night we all got to our homes. Luckily no one got seriously injured. I just had some minor bruises and that's about it. My dad promised to not give his car to me anymore, as I could not drive properly, even if it was not my fault. But I understand him. I wouldn't let my son drive if he wrecked my car like I did. So in the end, everything turned out to be just fine basically. That's the good part of the story, I believe. The moral of the story is, take your phone with you at least. If at least one of 4 dumbass including me had their phone, none of this could have happened. Well, it did. A little spooky experience and a story time came along from it as well. So if you enjoyed this story, be sure to leave a comment down below on what should I tell you about next, like and subscribe. See you with the next one.